riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, 25 sacks of mail. All along the southbound Odyssey, the train pulls out at Kankakee and rolls along past houses, farms, and fields, passing trains that have no name, and freight yards full of old black men, and the graveyards of the rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Dealing card games with the old man in the club car. Penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. Pass the paper bag that holds the bottle, and feel the wheels rumbling neath the floor. And the sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers write their fathers' magic carpets made of steel. And mothers with their babes asleep are rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Nighttime on the city of New Orleans, changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, and we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness, rolling down to the sea. But all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream, and the steel rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings his songs again, the passengers will please refrain. This train got to disappear in railroad blues. Good night, America, how are you?
The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, and I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You told me once, dear, you really loved me, and no one else could come between. But now you've left me and love another. Guess you've shattered all my dreams. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Louisiana, looking for some higher ground, trying to make my crazy dream come true. Well, 6 months in Atlanta done turned my heart around. But tell me you still want me to, let me come back home to you. Now please, Jolene, put me under your spell again. Won't you make me feel well again? Take me out of this hell I'm in. Oh please, Jolene, this time I'm gonna treat you right. All I wanna do is hold you tight. Believe me, I've seen the light, Jolene. That day I left you crying on the shores of Pontchartrain. I left the only dream I'll ever need. Baby, I ain't lying, I can't put out this flame. I'm gonna get down on my knees, meet me down in New Orleans. Please, Jolene, put me under your spell again. Won't you make me feel well again? Take me out of this hell I'm in. Oh please, Jolene, this time I'm gonna treat you right. All I wanna do is hold you tight. Believe me, I've seen the light, Jolene. Spell again. Won't you make me feel well again? Take me out of this hell I'm in. Oh please, Jolene, this time I'm gonna treat you right. All I wanna do is hold you tight. Believe me, I've seen the light, Jolene. Tell your daddy too, or tell him that I'm coming home for you. I got a ring for your pretty little hand
Big fat cats up on Wall Street are still living like kings. $1 billion bailouts for selling Ponzi schemes. We all know it's a crime, and they're guilty as sin. But where do you find 12 honest men? Now 2,000 years, nothing's changed. Selfish, greedy people keep doing the bad things. They should know there's a day they'll be answering again. But heaven can wait for 12 honest men. Looking at the Last Supper and the pictures oh so clear, sitting around that table with the Jeremy Hubbard's peers, for 30 pieces of silver, old Judas did it man. Even Jesus had trouble finding 12 honest men.